Namaste, beloveds. This is Valerie Ames, aka Mother Wit Wisdom, and this particular video is going to be very interesting because it's all about these words that have been just dancing around with me in my consciousness, in my awareness, um, in my visions, in my hearing. They're just really making themselves known, and they're breaking themselves down in ways that I have not um, appreciated them before. So just bear with me. This is not going to be um, very smooth because it's about words and it's about just the words. So this isn't a story or how it usually goes. This is about these words who are speaking to me um, with their own essence that they're bringing. So it's like I said, it's very deep because I've never really. I'm a word person. I love to read and I love to write. So I'm a word person. But it's getting really deep now. So let me just get to it. And I apologize for the lighting. The light I usually have on is blown and I've got to get another one. So it is what it is. Okay, I started off with words matter. In the beginning was the word, and the word United States of America just kept speaking to me, I'll put it that way. And United States of America. And if you, how can I put this? I wrote this yesterday, and I didn't feel like doing a video for it, so I'm like, okay, I'll go with that feeling and I'll wait. And so last night I could not go to sleep for anything. And so I'm up doing what I do, just posting like a mad woman on Facebook. Um, this history that is speaking to me and saying, connect the dots, connect the dots. This is what you wrote about. This is what you wrote about. And I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And a lot of it was about the KKK and the Knights of Malta and the Templar Knights. So if you want to look at it, it's on my Facebook page, Valerie Ames. But this is the breakdown of all of that posting. The United States of America. U as in the letter U. Knight as in Knight. Knight, like the Knights of the Round Table. Like the chivalric knights. States, consciousness. Consciousness. A united state of America. And united consciousness of Mary's Ka. Mary's Ka. America. Mary's Ka. And I advise you to look up the meaning of the word Mary, metaphysical and spiritually, that name. Also, M-E-R, also M-A-R-E. Mary's, mare, mare. And the Egyptian word Ka, K-A. United consciousness of Mary's Ka, of America, blew me away. Blew me away. And I'm like, okay, that's, and I just could not leave that alone. And then I'm looking at this now, and I'm also seeing night, Night, United States of Mary's Ka, and then United States or consciousness of Mary's Ka. And also last night, one of the things that was getting um, a lot of attention in my energy and expression was Queen Khalifa, who California is named after. And her energy was just all over it. And now dealing with this America, Mary's Ka, and Queen Khalifa is very it's very interesting what spirit is putting forth to be digested. And beloveds, this is not just getting knowledge to get knowledge. This is gaining knowledge of who you are on so many different levels. And it is the gaining of this knowledge that will help you integrate with understanding and understanding yourself more than just flesh, but really beginning to connect with the unseen and your instincts and your intuition. So don't just think, that I'm just doing this saying, oh, forget self inquiry, get all of this knowledge, this book stuff. This is no. What is helping me with, and everybody's different. Some may not need it, but for me, it is really helping me to integrate. It is really helping me to connect that this universal stream of knowledge, wisdom, intellect, diverse expressions, wisdom has always been there to tap into. And that it is no more just an empty thing that happened in the past than what is happening right now in this now moment. Because in this now moment, you're putting energy into what this live stream that is going to feed those in the future to help them understand more about themselves. The same ways that the masters left things for us to verify what we're finding out, to verify and confirm what we're knowing beyond just what the conscious mind thinks. So let me keep going. Unit 1. On it. Un it. One thing, one way. Consensus. Consensus. Divergent. Divergent. The original version. The original version. The original virgin. Version, Virsion, and virgin, Virgin. The original. Divergent. Meaning, and if you look up the word divergent, you you come to the understanding that there is not just one way, that there are many ways to be. And the more diverse you are at expressing who you are, the more vast you are able to expand, the more you're able to branch out. So, beloveds, What these words are speaking to me is that we're in a state where we think things have to be only one way, that things are only as they appear, or that we perceive them with our mind, that we reason from with our visual sight, our physical visual sight. But what these words are saying, as it said in the beginning was the word, these words, when you really know how to let them speak to you, shows you that there is a diversity, there is a variation in every type of perception, in every word. There's more than one way, especially with the English language. So, beloveds, that is what this is sharing. Let me keep going because it just, conscious is consensus. Conscious is consensus. Means that all your words are coming together to form a awareness that gives you a deeper or broader narrative of awareness. Consensus, your thoughts are coinciding there. With the senses, you are able to make these connections. Connect. um, sense us equals sense, SENSE space us. And sins, also SINS, and sis, SIS of us. And SENU, house of S/hope. Sense, SENU, house of S. Sensuous. And the house of S is hope. And that is the S, that's the letter on Superman's chest. And that represents the house of hope. That symbol is for hope from his planet. Okay, the sun and all that kind of good jazz. His story. His story. Home of the brave, land of the free. The United States, his story, is known as the home of the brave. The brave does not operate in one way. The brave is able to confront, deal with, handle whatever faces it, no matter how diverse. It's open. It doesn't shut itself down with fear, or I can't, or I am not. To be brave means you are open to engage. So that was their land of the free. Again, this is connected to California and Califia. And beloveds, in looking at this information, the gold rush came up. And I learned something that the Cherokee have a lot. I'm part Cherokee. That's part of my ancestry. The Cherokee had a lot to do with that California gold rush there. Um, there was just a lot of energy that's there. Also, there were several mounds, and there was a tribe of Native Americans that were there. So when you understand Califia's connection to all of this, and you're getting She was an Amazonian queen. She was a warrior queen. Um, Home of the brave, land of the free. There's a lot to this. United States, United States. And this was in the chivalric times. So this was in the, like the King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot. Those were the knights. Those were the time of honor when men were men of honor. And the knights took spiritual vows to protect. So they weren't just soldiers, they were spiritual soldiers. That's how they began. And there's always the queen who knighted them. Queen or king. But again, we're talking about Califia and the United States. And Califia was black. She was a black woman. So this lets you know that the history, his story, that only tells it one way, that is one united way, is not united at all because it's united lies. It's not the truth. There's a lot that is hidden in America's true beginnings and origins, original versions that we need to understand so that we can make sense of what is going on in the world today. When we see that 45 is what he's doing to these migrant children, there's precedent there. Nothing is new under the sun. And you need to be able to have an ability to notice when cycles and seasons and ages are repeating themselves. This is how you do better. This is how you empower yourself to do better, to bring about change. Okay, let me keep going. We think in unseen words. We write them down so we don't forget. We think in unseen words. That means our imagination speaks using words and images. And we're so used to just having that be the way it is that we don't actually understand right now how powerful that is. Because what we are speaking, the words that we are using, bring about actual physical manifestations of reality based upon these words. So this is really telling how powerful words are and how powerful we are to be able to use these words to bring about change and to understand ourselves better. When you don't really know that you are this wonderful, vast, divine being, you describe yourself, you identify yourself with terms that are very limiting. And you accept them as your true identity. I am a black woman. Compared to, I am a divine, unique expression. of spirit incarnated and manifested eternally. And this is just one of my lifetimes of existence. And my experience will be that of a black woman. But that term does not limit my knowing of me. And that does not limit the access to the information that I carry genetically. So we have not been taught to use these words in this manner that broadens our whole horizon, that teaches us how to identify with the truth. We are spiritual beings. Yes, there is a physical part of us that can be seen, and that is divergent. That is different. It's diverse in its appearance, in its shape, in its form, in its essence. But there is an unseen that does not change and is the same in every one of us. Male, female, black, white, yellow, brown, red, fat, skinny, tall, short. None of that matters. And when you understand that that is the truth of your essence, of your beingness, of your existence, like I said, these words enable you to transform, to heal, to rise above, to be calm in certain situations, to observe from a different place of your senses, from a different place of being triggered, simply because you have words now that help you in your imagination, in your being, in your inner standing, in your instincts. Let me keep going. The word Roman came up, and ROE dash MANS, and roe is the eggs, is the fish eggs, caviar, caviar and anchovies, fish eggs, fish sperm, chauvinistic, anchovies, chauvinistic, fish sperm, and CHOVAN and istic. So chauvinistic and romance. A roe is also, I believe, a male deer, male buck deer. Um, so when you think of who the Romans were, and you use these terms, the words, and break it down the way Spirit is breaking it down, and you understand that one of the symbols of Jesus was a fish. And here you have roe, man, the roe of man, the sperm of man. Like I said, it takes you different places. And beloveds, not everybody is like me. I understand that. But I love to have things expanded upon. And like I said, never having looked at the words in such a way. Words have always spoken to me. Like certain words will have an energy that has me searching for different things. It'll lead me, go deeper with this word. This word will take you deeper. And so, like I said, this looking at this, um, America, Mary's Ka, United States, a knighted, where somebody actually has knighted you to do something, or to be a certain way, or to live a certain way, or to carry a certain honorable principle out. And this is the state, this is the consciousness. And you understand that um, America began because of religious persecution and them coming here. Again, the knights were um, religious military. Okay, so there's a lot that Spirit is sharing and showing to get a sense of the energy that is taking place, of the vibrational frequency that is repeating itself right now. With the racial tensions, like I said, the Knights of Malta, the KKK, the white supremacy in the United States right now, and understanding them burning the cross, and all of this is tied together. And to really get a deeper understanding of what is playing out before you are these words. It's just like reading a book before you see the movie. And in the book, you have nothing but the words. And the words are going to convey things to you that you're not going to see or sense with the movie, because just the way it's presented, it's not you reading just words. Now all of your senses are totally engaged. You know, you have your imagination doesn't have to really work as much because everything is presented to you. But when you're reading these words have to speak to you in a way that sparks your imagination for things to come alive. Okay, let me keep going. Egyptians. E space Gypt, Gypt space shuns, Tions. And this is what I wrote: giving and taking motions. Gyp you out of something, taking something from you. The Jews will gyp you. Egyptians. Egyptians. Giving and taking motions. And remember, this is the Romans contrasted with the Egyptians. And so the Romans were this male sperm, and the Egyptians giving and taking motions, that's receptive. So this is a male female dynamic. And when you really think of what Egypt is, you think of, she's the throne. She is the kingmaker. She is matrilineal. She is the matriarch with the Hathors and Isis and on and on and on and on and on. So this is very, like I said, these words are really doing a number. They're doing their own dance. Convergent. To bring together the original version by deception. Con, C-O-N, is to join. Con is also to fool somebody. Vergent, the original version, is also emotion. Vergent. So convergent, to bring together the original version by deception. And when you look at the convergent history of America, since these are the words that are presented, you really, like I said, it's really opening up stuff. And I know it's deep and it might seem crazy, but it's what's presenting itself right now with me, and I just wanted to share that. To arrive at ground zero in an unlimited vast way, convergent. To arrive at ground zero in an unlimited vast way. Handmaiden's Tale. I have been watching the the series, The Handmaid's Tale, and I must say I am very intrigued with the direction that it's going, because when I think of handmaidens, I think of Hagar, um, Ishmael's mother, and she was Egyptian, and she was Sarah's handmaid. I think of many other women in history, and not just even the English history, those who were handmaidens and what happened to them, and they what they represented in the court, what their duties were, and their roles as women. And let me just keep going. Isis, Mary, mother, plus child seen, father unseen, in The Handmaid's Tale. Um, and in the spiritual realm of Isis, Osiris was deceased. So he was one of the unseen that she conceived from. Mary, when she was pregnant with Jesus, the Holy Spirit impregnated her. There was no physical father, so that father was unseen. Osiris was an unseen force. So in The Handmaid's Tale, with um, Hagar, Hagar was sent away with Ishmael. So Ishmael had an unseen father as well. We speak of our heavenly Father, and we speak of our flesh and the earth as being female vessels. Okay? And it is the unseen that is the masculine essence that gives us this energy, this electricity, this sperm, this force that keeps us going. And we are at a time where we are really beginning to um, understand the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and what the healing of those two energies is bringing about, and what the union of these two forces means inside us individually and collectively. And when you have had the masculine or the patriarchy being the visible force and the feminine being the unseen force, that created imbalance. And now what we're being given is you need to acknowledge both need to be seen. That which is incarnated matter, existence, and that which is unseen, spiritual existence. They need to be united. They need to marry. They need to merge. They need to unite. Um, Son, I, and the Father are one. Okay, this was a reference to Jesus saying that when you see me, I'm Son of God. I'm God's Son. When you see me, you see the Father. When you see the Father, you see me. There is no separation. And this is what self-inquiry is all about. It's letting you know you are not alone, nor are you this egoic, conditioned, material, incarnated existence alone. This is not it. There is an unseen existence that is happening simultaneously that this physical existence cannot have without this unseen. But we give more credit. We make more real what we can see with our physical eyes and what we can deal with our senses. That is why when you see the eye of Horus, it breaks down those fractions of the senses, because this is what we've been seeing with. But we need to understand that when you put the whole eye together, then you're seeing with that unseen eye, the third eye, as it's been called. The eye that is not limited to the perception of the senses, that is not limited to the analysis of the ego mind. It's the unseen that we haven't even been able to tap into yet. Scientists are not able to, we're just now understanding so many things because it's time. And as time goes on, we'll learn more and more. That's why I say don't worry yourself overtly too much where you're to the point where you're hopeless or you want to commit suicide, because change is taking place. It may not feel like it, it may not seem like it, but it is. And it's taking place on a deep inner level. And that's where it needs to take place. We are asking, who am I? And it's not who is the government, or who is this person, or who is my mate, or who is my relationship with that's going to bring about changes, or that's going to make everything okay. Remember the chivalry knights? The knights were the ones that made everything okay. They were the ones that fought the battles for you. But now we're having a united consensus on the unseen parts of us that is a force to be reckoned with on its own and doesn't need anything above that. Doesn't need permission, doesn't need understanding. You just know instinctually. And when you are able to tap into it, it leads you and it guides you. And you get to a point where certain situations or certain thoughts come up, and because you've had this experience now that you cannot unhave, you begin to You begin to look at things from that vantage point, and it just changes your whole way of engaging with the world itself, even with your own egoic mind, your own thoughts. Like I said, it's higher ground, beloveds. It's higher ground. And there's a peace. There's a calming peace, and there's a certainty, because you understand that there are no limitations to this. There is nothing that can overcome, overwhelm, destroy, take it away. You will not be abandoned. This will not leave you. You cannot leave it. It is not going to hurt you or disappoint you, and you are not going to hurt or disappoint it. And for me, that is a huge thing. That is huge. That is me finally understanding what unconditional love is, what those words, unconditional love, what they truly, truly mean. And it is the unseen that secures unconditional love. It is not the tangible. It is not the senses. It is an inner satisfaction. It's a oneness with the order. Universal order, universal laws, universal consciousness, universal awareness. And you know that whatever is taking place is part of the evolution, is part of the ascension, is part of the transformation, is part of the transmutation. So we're looking at these horrible things, but we need to understand why we need to see them. Why we need to take ownership for them not only happening, but us witnessing them. Who am I in this situation? And that way you're not disassociating. I was diagnosed as having a dissociative disorder. Part of my, I guess, being able to look at things from a different perspective, however you want to, something like the Scarlet O'Hara. I'll deal with that tomorrow. And you actually, literally, that whatever it is, you do not take that forward with you. You do not invest in that at all. It no longer exists. No matter how urgent it is. That's disassociating. Disassociating from a relationship is the same thing. This is going to hurt me, so this part of me will be present, but I'm not really participating in this. That way if I get hurt, I ain't hurt. It's not me that's getting hurt, because I'm disassociated. I'm not totally 100% invested. And that has been a form of protection, and a lot of us, all of us, do it to a certain degree. But when you, like I said, when you do this self-inquiry, there's no reason not to be fully present anymore, because it's not the other person that you're trusting, because they are just a mirror. They are just another divine expression that you have manifested, or that has manifested you on the journey of self-inquiry, of expansion, of evolution, spiritual growth, learning more about the unseen, the instinctual. So it's, I'm like I said, I'm at a place that I have never been, never ever been, even with my first love, because I have information now on me of who I am that I have never had before. And it like I said, it gives you a vastness. There's a lot of things that you no longer look at and judge the way you used to judge. Or you don't condemn certain things. You understand that we're all in this tight bud, and we're all unfolding. We're all unfolding. And that is just very deep for me. That's a very deep place. Before it was, I got my shit together, you have your shit together, and you ain't got your shit together. Your shit don't match mine. Nah, I'm gonna stay over here. You gone. And so now it's like I said, it's not that kind of energy anymore. It's mm, there's a deeper sense of being satisfied in discovering the true vastness of things, if that makes sense. That is how it is. It is appearing, and is, that's how it feels for me. And like I said, that's a whole new place. That's a whole new space. This is very sacred space for me. And I am grateful is such a little petty word to use for how appreciative I am, how satisfied. Satisfaction is, I think, the best word for me, because in so many things I was never satisfied. It only made me more curious, or it just turned me off, and I still wasn't satisfied. But I am satisfied now in ways that just boggle the mind. Let me keep going. Hand. 5. Touch, hold, do. Give, receive, hide, show, take, steal, bless, curse. The hand. The hand. The hand has 5 fingers. Well, 4 fingers and a thumb. The hand allows you to touch. The hand allows you to hold. The hand allows you to do. The hand allows you to give. The hand allows you to receive. The hand can hide something. The hand can show something. The hand can take. It can steal. The hand can bless. And the hand can curse. So understand and understand the significance of the word hand. understand and understand the number 5. And these are things that you need to understand esoterically and symbolically, metaphysically, spiritually, as well as physically. There is an unseen dimension of knowing to your hand, to your whole body, many different parts, but Spirit is bringing forth hand. So, and we're dealing with the knights, and look at what the hand and knighthood or whatever, how that correlates. Also with watching the Game of Thrones and the position of the hand. So there's a lot to it. And the writing on Nebuchadnezzar's wall was done with a hand. So there's not, was it Nebuchadnezzar? I don't know if it was Nebuchadnezzar. I think it was a mini tickle something, but all of that is there. And I don't want to overwhelm you because a lot of people don't like information, or they can be overloaded, or Valerie, what the hell is your point that you're trying to make with all of this? And like I said, it's something that you have to internalize. It's something that you have to let Spirit reveal to you the same way it was revealed to me. Okay, let me go forward. Maid, caretaker, companion, cleans up mess, takes the blame, God's handmaid. And when I say takes the blame, it's always the maid or the butler getting blamed for something. And they're the ones that's going around doing with their hands. So, like I said, that has a lot to do with it. And we were talking about the handmaiden's tale, so that's where all of this hand and maid and all of this is coming from. So understand this in this light, in a self-inquiry kind of light. Okay, we're getting to the end of it now. Thank God. Okay, now we're getting. I'll start with this. All existence is wisdom, being wise, with eyes, sight beyond sight, vision, sight beyond sight. So that means being able to see the unseen within yourself and within others, within situations. If you want to look at the unseen as being energy or vibration frequencies, however, little beings, however you choose to see that, orbs, energy, fairies, demons, angels, all of this is unseen. And these energies merge with another one, possess another one, influence us. So just because you're dealing with a physical being that you see, you're also dealing with the unseen with them as well. You know how you can come across somebody and you can just tell that they're in a really pissy mood. They're just woof. And it's something, you're seeing the unseen in them. Your instincts are informing you of the unseen that's influencing them, that's around them. So it's like I said, it's leading to deeper insight. It's leading to vaster ways of expressing yourself because you're understanding yourself that in a way that takes away certain limits. We have always limited ourselves to just the physical realm that we see. And we've heard and known of the spiritual realm and heard stories and myths and fairy tales, and or we've seen paranormal things and all of this, but we've always looked at it as being other, outside of us, outside of our comprehension even. And now we're entering a phase, a season, an age where we are being shown this is as much a part of you as anything else, as your hand. Okay. The Milky Way is the divine wisdom, is a sex shooter, is ejaculate. The Milky Way is divine ejaculate, lubricant, liquid life, our existence. The Milky Way. It is a way. It is a fluid, conscious way. And this way is the unseen. This is the essence of the unseen. And the energy is reproductive in its nature. Sexual, asexual, joining, conjoining, flowing, milky, nourishing. So what Spirit is saying, understand that this is what you're fed with. This is what you join with. This is what you use to expand yourself with. The way of the milk. This kind of energy. This kind of awareness. And it's in a spiral. So understand that you're going to come across a lot of things that you have known before. But in our evolutionary process, we have forgotten or we have disassociated or disconnected from. And now we're merging with it again. We're intertwining with it again. We're making love with it again. We're forming a conscious clinging to it again, an integration with it. Let me keep going. Each of us is hope, is male and female. The female empowers the male, supports. The male is his throne. The words or terms, houri, whore. God was her pimp. The Milky Way is what I'm speaking of. This energy, just like the romance, that was the fish, eggs, and the fish swim by, the male fish swim by and release their sperm over the eggs. And you have to understand that this is what is this male and female uniting, the heroes gamos, within ourselves and making peace with it outside of ourselves. And as we begin to do this, things will fall into place. It will create It'll create a certain harmony once again, symphonic, beautiful music, so to speak, um, that is without a lot of discord. A lot of discord because we have forgotten that the seen has to be connected, has to be joined with the unseen. And we've taken sexuality to a place with the churches and just the evolutionary descent of that spiral. And now it's time to spiral back up. So a lot of beautiful things are going to happen, but we're witnessing a lot of ugly things right now. We're witnessing what is being brought to our consciousness, what's being slapped in front of us, is all this sexual deviancy, all this sexual perversion, all these rapes, all these babies being molested, all these relationship cheating and killing your spouse and cheating on your spouse because they did this, or it's all of this is to make us aware, consciously aware of who we are, that we're both male and female, and we have to heal that essence within us in order to relate to each other in a divine manner, on a much higher frequency than what we have been doing. And once we're able to do that, we won't need to be violent with each other. We won't need to not understand another or inflict ourselves upon another because we don't understand ourselves. So we're punishing them. Hurt people hurt people. You got to feel it to heal it. So there's a lot going on that is really coming up in our consciousness, and it's making us uncomfortable. It's making us angry. It's making us question, how can another human being do this? It's making us say, look at all these demons out here influencing this. This is all necessary in order to grow. These are all the words you need to see. These are all the actions that you need to see in order to let them go. You have to have enough of it. You have to be satisfied. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm done with that. I can let that go now. I can give that away with my hands, seen and unseen. So, yes, the world is going crazy. It's going crazy because you're at a point of actually being able to see the unseen. Things that you haven't paid attention to before, or things that you saw but not understood what you could do about it, or why you were seeing it. And you only had the explanation of God knows more than you do, because you have this sense that God is outside of you. Divine intellect is always outside of you. Divine intellect is inside of you. And you've been neglecting that part of yourself. On this level, no matter how religious or sanctimonious or moral or whatever else you think you are, if you aren't addressing yourself as divine, as a spiritual essence of source, as an extension as the child of, as that essence itself, then you're living a very limited existence. And everything that you observe will also be limited. Every experience, love, so limited when you look at it from a human, sensory, needy point of view. But when you look at it from an unconditional love, with a vastness that is unknown, layers and levels of it yet to be born or experienced or tapped into, takes you to a whole nother place. And it also opens up a dialogue within you. Words, questions. And so this energy that you have going is going to attract like energy. The universal laws are still at place. They were put in place by divine intellect, wisdom. So understand that things may seem like they're falling apart or falling away. Let them. Let them. Use your words and your understanding of words to understand that things are actually getting better. That's the unseen part of it. We're only looking at things with our physical eyes and it looks a horrible mess. Hot mess. But we're not using our spiritual eyes to see that, okay, this is how things are going to change. This is how human beings are going to realize that they're spiritual beings. Wow, it really had to get this rough for us to all come together. So allow things and know that there is a unseen higher force that's got this. We're just now getting to this point, but that part of us has already is way past this point, okay? It's because time doesn't exist to it. It has no beginning and it has no end. They're just seasons and cycles. Just like summer, winter, spring, fall. And the things that happen in those months, they're not disasters. It's not death. It's renewal. It's rejuvenating. It's resurrection. It's rebirth. It's the cycle of life. It's the way of existence governed by universal laws. So that's going to do it. Oh, wait. Okay. Without her, there is no right to rule equals reason. Without the female instinct, there is no reason. Ra's son, Reson, reason. The female intuitive instinct is the reason that she gives birth to cycles and seasons. That's why a woman is hormonal and has a period. That's why a woman is made Mother Crone. She is the reason. She is that unseen force behind change, beginnings and endings. From the, what is it, from the womb to the tomb, from the cradle to the grave. That is why the divine feminine essence is making such a impact in our consciousness, and that those who are in the know have been telling us that this is what's going on. The divine feminine is stepping, she's home. Mama is home. And Mama is cleaning house. Mama is bringing about change. She's giving birth to change. And she's bringing death to what no longer serves. And some of it is going to be leftovers. Because she alone knows how to work that. But don't be without hope. Don't be in a place that you do not understand all of this is in divine order. And the more comfortable you get with self-inquiry, the more you will be comfortable with watching this pass as you observe and as you be in it. Because this is what existence is. It's being. It's partaking. It's expressing. It's expanding. So allow yourself. And it is going to be a different experience for each of us because we are so diverse, not only in our experiences, but in our essences, in our chemical makeups, just like we have. No one has the same fingerprint. No one has the same journey, self-inquiry journey. No one is going to have the same results as everyone else. No one is going to experience it the exact same way that you do. The exact same amount of time that you do. How you do it. How you integrate this wisdom. I am the unseen. When your whole life you've just been taught that you are this seen, what can be seen. And that everything else, the unseen, is not real. It's just imagination, it's just stories, just fairy tales. When it is more reality than what we know, it is still influencing us. Okay. Multiply in unity. Marriage, couple, being one, unborn. You're in that one. You're in that unborn state. Because you're learning, the two of you are learning how to function as one. Inside that womb, that O, that zero, with this true knowledge, know the ledge. There is no need for Hunger Games or rules of competition. There is no need for Hunger Games or rules of competition. And I want you to think about the movie Divergent. I want you to think about the movies Hunger Games. And I want you to see the seen and the unseen. The part that lives by the senses or perceives by that Horus eye, and those things that are instinctual. And I want you to relate those things to yourself through the words, through the images. And when things begin to unfold or unravel in a way that is uncomfortable for you, remember these words. Remember their energy. Remember that you are more than just this flesh on the outside, that there is an instinctual part of you that knows how to solve any situation that comes up. You have just got to learn how to trust that instinctual part of yourself. And if you've lived like me, it's hard to 100% just be instinctual. So the practice, and the more you become aware, even putting yourself in that situation, okay, I see how my ego sees this. I see how my mind sees this. How do I see this instinctually? What is my gut telling me? And begin to develop that. That's a muscle. Work it like a muscle. Work out with it. Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it. Namaste, and thank you so much. I hope this helps you as it is helping me to put things in perspective, to really understand the United States of America. Mary's Ka. That's deep. United. And understanding all the principles that went into a colonized America. And from the perspective of religion, from the perspective of, was it the home of the brave and the land of the free? And yet we're turning away migrants. We're turning away those who are brave enough to make that journey to get here. We're denying them freedom that many of our own ancestors sought. Many of them journeyed across the waters, across land, mountains, rivers, fought disease, hunger, rape, molestation, endured all kinds of things in order to get to the land of the brave and the home of the free. The words, beloveds, your instincts about those words, let them speak to you. Okay. Namaste. Love us all. Love us all.